We're on, we're live?
Yeah.
Good morning. Thanks for joining the SilviaFindings Facebook live stream for September, what is it, 8th? Today's the 8th? 9th? 9th? September 9th? My days are messed up. But yes, Wednesday mornings. We do this every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. So thanks for joining us. If you're here for the first time, we are SilviaFindings. We're Canada's premier destination for sterling silver findings. Be that rings, pendant settings, components, wire, sheet metal, bales, beads, clasps, jump rings, you name it. We've got it in sterling. We're the factory. Having said all that, and I'll get back to this a little bit more, obviously, during the stream, but I'm not going to show you any silver items today. Well, just one, but it's just as an aside. Today I'm gonna show you the gold findings that we brought in. All 18 karat. We've got yellow and rose gold items. Just a few things. We don't have everything, but we have just a few things. But people ask us all the times, don't you have gold? Thinking, we thought about it, and thinking we can do gold filled too, and we might have one or two items that are gold filled. But we wanted to do it for real instead of just doing the gold filled items, because gold filled, is, I don't know. To me, it feels not as good as having a solid gold clasp. If you're going to do it right, right? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the Wednesday live stream, which we do because during this time of the global pandemic, all the shows have been obviously postponed. Although there's a show coming up, I think in Calgary next month. I don't know. We'll see. Personally, I think it's an insane idea, but if it's open and it's there, you'll see us there. We'll be there. Probably. Definitely, we'll be there. If the show's on, we'll be there. But couple of things. If you share this live stream with your friends and your friends list or anybody, we'll find out about it. We'll get a notification that says, so and so shared the video and things. So we'll get a hold of you and we'll send you one of these silver polishing cloths, right? Which are awesome. And I know that if you've watched these things, you see me do this every time, right? It's just nice, lovely little green chamois material that's infused with a chemical that helps break down the cupric oxide, which is the copper and the oxygen in your sterling silver or your gold that oxidizes. That's what creates tarnish. This stuff helps unbind it and clean it up. So we'll send you one of those as a free thank you. Also, just so you know, if you order anything during today's event, there's a 10% discount for all members' orders placed during the event who are from one of our related social media groups and any lapidary clubs, bead clubs, societies, those kind of things. Just let us know, and make sure we know that we can offer you that discount. One question, just getting into the mailbag a little bit before I get going, and I'm going to do my rant on Canada Post in a minute, but for now, let me just think. You may have noticed, and I know that a lot of you have noticed because we've gotten some feedback. We'll call it feedback. That some of the prices have gone up. And yes, they have. This is not an announcement. This is something that's been ongoing for a while. Silver prices up until a couple of months ago, 2-3 months ago, ranged between $14 and $16 an ounce, and that was pretty normal. I think 17 was on the high side, what it used to be, average. And right now it's gone up, so it's hovering between, $26, $27, $28. I think right now it's about 28, 27 something. And if it's a fluctuation of a dollar here or there when it was down at 16 or 17, we can absorb those kind of costs. But when the price raises 50 to 60% of the raw materials for all of the items that we're producing, it becomes an untenable situation that we just can't ignore anymore. And in order for us to keep making new products and making refilling the old inventory, we have to update the prices accordingly with the things, and like that. One thing, if you're used to shopping retail, one way to get around the price increase is, and I hate to sound very self-serving, but it's a really good idea, is to buy more. Because if you spend $150 or more at the wholesale level, then you can get the wholesale prices, which ultimately, I mean, there's not a standard discount between the retail and the wholesale prices, but chances are good that the updated, the new wholesale price is about the same or still less than the old retail price, if that makes sense. Even the prices, say the prices were raised on a range of products, say 30%. The difference between the retail and the wholesale price was probably around 25 to 30% anyway. So buy more is always a good plan, I guess, to get the price. Having said that, yeah, most of the prices that quoting you are retail prices. If you're looking on the website and you don't already have wholesale credentials, the prices that you'll see are all retail prices, and those have all been updated on the website and Etsy. Those prices are all current. So you can always have a look at those. But if you wanted to get the wholesale prices while shopping on the website, you need to register for wholesale. There's in the menu bar, it says wholesale, and then go to the wholesale login, and then there's a box or a link somewhere that says new wholesale request, or I don't remember off the top of my head, something like that. You fill out a form, and literally within just a few minutes, or a couple of hours at the most, we'll get your credential. And then when you log in with your new wholesale credentials, all the prices that you see on the website will be wholesale prices, and you can start shopping. Now, I think when you're logged into the wholesale section and you're filling up your shopping cart, you won't be able to check out until you've reached $150, because that's a minimum for wholesale anyway. But that's neither here nor there. One of the other perks about doing this live stream is that if you have any questions about anything, and you happen to think of it while we're here, just because we're talking, let me know. Just get into the chat and the comment section, I guess, and go ahead and ask away. It doesn't even have to be about what I'm showing you today. It could be about anything. If you want to know, hey, do you have any more of those rings back in stock? We can look it up. We can look for you. You can do that because you're here. You're here in our office right now with us. We have had couple more retail people coming to the office. We still do that. You welcome to come to the office anytime. You should call first, because we don't like to have I think there are guidelines about having how many people you can have in a certain square footage of area, and I haven't checked the total yet, but best to keep everybody kind of separate, just neither here nor there. Anything that you have seen that maybe you've got a stone that doesn't fit all of our things, because all of our production items are all done with normal, I shouldn't say normal, common dimensions, in mind. So like the pairs might be, X by Y, but maybe your Y dimension on your pair stone is wider than, one that we carry. We get that a lot with pairs. Ovals pretty easy. Although sometimes you get ovals that are really, really, tall and very thin, and so we probably wouldn't have a setting for that. But no matter what stone you have, we can do a custom, job. Um, Custom work happens pretty quickly. We do it all the time. We have a lot of them. We do them, do them all the time. And the price is great. I mean, you cannot beat our price on custom items. I've never seen prices even close to what we do for custom. If you walked into a jeweler and you had a couple of stones and you said, hey, I need a pendant for these two stones, one here or one there, blah, blah, blah. And then they started carving it or doing a thing, whatever. They would charge you many hundreds of dollars, $300-$400, depending on how complicated the thing are. We had a customer who did just that. I don't know if you can see this. I think I'm going to do this close up. I don't even know if I should be showing this to you because I haven't actually shown it to the customer yet. And I haven't set these. I just kind of, put the stones in there and push the prongs over to give you an idea, right? So, I mean, we could do, literally anything, even, something that some people might think is crazy, like putting two giant stones together in a big pendant. Actually, I think that's quite pretty. Right, so custom is our middle name. Not really, but... You can call us whatever you want. Just don't call us late for dinner. Okay, I'm going to get on to the thing. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. As far as... Oh, just one more thing about custom. Custom service is not relegated to being only sterling, right? Obviously, if it's custom, we can do it in anything you want. We can do it in, 18 karat gold, 14 karat gold, rose gold, white gold, even brass. I think if you wanted, why you would want brass, I don't know, but and with all kinds of different coatings, rhodium for the silver. You wouldn't want to put rhodium on a gold, item, but we can do gold, different kinds of gold plating, yellow gold, white gold. Rose gold, you name it, we can do it. Because if it's custom, we're doing the one at a time, so not a problem.
Also custom made mold.
Also, yeah, we can do custom made mold. We get asked for that a lot too. People want they want a mold of a thing. It's a design. Maybe they're working on a jewelry line, and they have something that they know that they want to make multiples of. I don't know. I can't imagine why you would want to mold if you're not going to have it, because no matter where you have it made, it's probably going to be more expensive than having us make it anyway. But the customer is always right. They want a mold. We will make you a mold. So we can do that. Rubber molds, for doing injecting the wax, or steel molds. We can do that too, and we have done. Gold prices have been a little less volatile than the silver prices have been, but they have gone up, but not as badly as the silver prices have. And I'm sure that there are lots of places you can go to get discussions about why the silver prices are going insane, but I don't pay a lot of attention to conspiracy theorists and things like that about whatever. Anyway, gold. I'm going to start with some gold clasps. Let me see if I can get this closer. Here we go. So here's a lovely little lobster clasp, trigger clasp. That's 8.3 millimeters. That's the length. I think the width of that, of just the the big loop area, not counting the trigger. I measured this yesterday for the website because Lise, if you're watching, I started putting these things on the website. We're gonna have these up on the website soon. I started putting some of these up, then Marvel distracted me with some other project. So I'll get on those as soon as the live stream is over, and those will come up soon. So anyway, so that's just a cute little lobster clasp. It has a little ribbed section down near the loop. It looks like those like swivel clasp, but this is not a swivel clasp. This is actually just molded into that shape, and it's quite lovely, right? And something like that, the code number, and don't look at the prices because the prices, the labels here haven't been updated. KCL001 is the code number for that, and yeah, it won't be much higher than that, but it'll be higher than that, the price. And then you have a little more classic, right? Well, so maybe I should open these up. Yeah, I will. You've got a little more classic lobster clasp, right? The trigger. I don't know if you can see that. No, it looks better inside. Yeah. Now these ones have kind of like a matte finish, right? They're still shiny, but the surface is, you know, kind of matte. It's not like a mirror finish on those. Um, those are lovely. 9.4 millimeters is the length. That's the length from the from, you know, the end of the loop all the way to the, you know, the tiny loop. And then the width of that is probably, I don't know, 5 millimeters or so, right? KCL002-Y. Oh, right. I don't know if you can see the upper one there, that's yellow gold, and the lower one is rose gold. So we have that, almost all of these findings we have in yellow or rose gold in stock. Some we don't, but almost all of them we do. And, you know, I don't know if you're putting together a lovely necklace that's just, you know, super expensive beads or stones or, you know, whatever. You know, you don't want to put a 50-cent bead store clasp on there, right? Let me just make that nice and clear. There we go. Oh, that's lovely, right? Big clasp. That's a big one. 11.65 millimeters, so almost 12 millimeters wide. KCL003 -Y for yellow and -R for rose gold. Let's see if I can move these forward. Here's a little bit bigger version of that first one I showed you with the ribbed section at down by the little loop, right? Again with the yellow and the rose gold. KCL004, and that's 11. It's a little bigger than 11 millimeters long. I think you can't go wrong with that. And then those are all ones that have loops. I'm just going to skip ahead. We start with the biggest one of this version of this kind, right? So here's one. I don't know if you can see the loop in the bottom of that is part of the actual implementation of the whole clasp, right? So you would connect, I don't know, maybe a jump ring in there to connect to, or depending on what kind of a cord end you put on there, a calotte or something, maybe silk cord with some bullion wire, or I don't know, some soft flex or one of those braided steel cables with a anchor, wire guard, right? KCL010. Yep, saw that right. $102. Beautiful. 18 karat gold. So I mean that's the biggest version of that one. This I think is the smallest version.
Customer asked for open from 18 karat gold.
Customers asking about jump rings. Yes. Split jump rings. Yes, we do have jump rings. Let me see. Here's some. Here's a tiny one. Size for use with those size of lobster clasps. Yes. Probably will need something a little bigger. Maybe something like that, right? Here's a jump ring that's open. KCR0430. 0.4 millimeter. I guess that's a wire gauge. It's a 3 millimeter jump ring and the wire gauge 0.4 millimeters, which is off the top of my head 26 gauge. For something, if you're going to use these open jump rings with those clasps, you'd have to solder them closed because I wouldn't trust something with that small of a gauge. Here's the biggest or thickest jump ring that we've got, the open jump ring, and that's 4 millimeter jump ring. 0.6 is 22 gauge, so 22 gauge is the metal, and then the 4 millimeter is the. So yeah, you can definitely use, though I guess depending on the size of the clasp. If you're going to use one of those
She also split ring. We don't have
split rings, we don't have, no,
but
just jump rings. Split rings. Sorry, customers asking if we have split rings.
but we can custom order.
Which we do, and we can custom order those. So I think Marble's talking with you in the chat. Maybe you'll do a private message or something. I don't know how it'll work, but yes, we can do it. The answer is always yes. If the question is, can you? Very few times it's going to be no. We can't do that. The only times I've seen it happen where we can't do that is where somebody was asking for something that was just way bigger than what a standard flask could, accept. The jeweler's flasks for the jewelry when you're casting. I think the biggest ones are probably 4 inches across, and you have to have some clearance for the investment around the outside edges. So you can't really put something in there that's as wide as the flask. It's got to be smaller than the flask. The wax, piece that gets burnt out when you fire. Anyway, neither here nor there. Although, those kind of situations, we could break it down into pieces and cast all the pieces together and then solder them together into the big thing. But that means lots more labor. Anyway, let's continue on with some other clasps. We've got these classic bolt ring clasps. Got a couple different sizes of these. So 5 millimeter, and these are 5 millimeter. What? Okay. We've got a 5 millimeter one on the left and 4.8 millimeter one on the right. Okay. KCL013K2. Oh, okay. And the 4.8 millimeter one was KCL013-Y for the yellow and -R for the red. Here's a little smaller one, 4.2 millimeters. So we're going down by a little bit. And this one is KCL014. And these bolt rings, some people call them spring rings. You can call them whatever you want. I call them bolt rings. I think that's more accurate. They're They're tricky. It's a couple different parts in there. I think there's like 5 parts in this clasp. But 18 karat gold, the only thing obviously that's not 18 karat gold is the spring inside there, which you can't make out of gold because gold won't stay springy. Steel will. So if, just as a nota bene, NB, whatever, if you have some old jewelry that you're taking apart and you're going to melt it down to cast for whatever, or maybe you're just going to sell it or a thing, you've got to break those clasps open and pull the steel spring out of it. Especially if you're going to melt it down. If you're going to sell it, keep it in there. If they're weighing everything, let them weigh the steel spring along with the rest of it. Although most savvy, gold dealers, when they see those kind of things, they already know to pull them out. They learn pretty quickly. But if you're just going to use it to melt down and cast something else, you've got to pull that steel spring out of there because that'll contaminate your gold. It just won't melt the same temperature as the gold will, and you'll try to... Anyway, neither here nor there. As far as the little gold beads, got tiny gold beads, everything from tiny plain, what is that, a 2mm bead, KR200, again, -Y for yellow, -R for red. I don't know if we have this in red gold. I think we do. Right, so again, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Probably it might be upwards of $4, I think, with the new prices. But I don't want to say off the top of my head, but by the time they get on the website, the prices will all be correct, so you'll be able to see that. And you're welcome to ask anytime, anything that you see here. Hey, I thought I saw, don't you have a thing, whatever. So we've got these little round beads everywhere from 2mm all the way up to... here's a 3mm one. So we've got that in the yellow gold and the red gold. Right, rose gold, I should say. And I think we've also got a 4mm one here. I know I'm kind of skipping over some things. Here's here's the biggest one that we have right now in just a plain gold. That's a 4mm round KR400. Oh, focus. There we go. Golly, this is a good phone camera. And then we've also got a bunch of other beads, laser cut beads. These are 6mm round beads in a bunch of different styles. I don't know if you can see that finish on there. Right? So these, I don't know if they call laser cut, laser etched. KBD 600B, like boy. And I think those are all the same SKU, just with different letters after them. Here's a really cool one with that. Can you focus on that, please, Mr. Phone? Please! You were doing so good. Now, there we go. So it's kind of like a, I don't know, zigzag, laser cut. It's not going to want to stay in focus. Bummer. They're really striking in real life. I know I'm holding this for too long. So that's that KBD 600C. And this one very cool effect with the lines moving from top to bottom. What is the size of the hole? Carla asks, what is the hole size of this? And these, looking at the size of the hole off the top of my head, I want to say it's pretty good size. Probably 2mm, maybe more, maybe 3mm. It's a pretty good size hole. Let me get my... I'm going to get my calipers out. Let me measure that. 2.6. What's that?
You can try the size.
Right. All right. So I'm thinking like 2.6 millimeters.
No, this
3.6.
No.
No, it's way bigger than that. No, bigger than that. No, bigger, bigger.
Still bigger?
Yeah. Okay, that's too big. Well, according to the calipers, right? The size of that hole is 2.6 millimeters. So, like I said, pretty good size hole. Oops. That's better. You can see that. No, that's not gonna stay in focus. Yeah, I think the holes are about the same in all of them too. So here's another one, the same laser cut, but it's just a tiny cut from the very top to the very bottom, and it gives you this sort of cat's eye effect. I don't know if you've ever seen those beads that are made, they're called fiber optic beads. You know, they're made out of a block of glass that's just, you know, little glass fibers that are all stacked together and then melted together, and then when you anyway, neither here nor there. I don't want to get into the whole technical aspects of glass beads that we don't sell, but they look like those things. If you've ever seen those fiber optic beads, here's another gorgeous laser cuts on those things. It looks kind of like a basket or something. KBD 600E, like egg or electricity. Here's another one, right? Laser cut with sort of like a melon, but with diagonal cuts. These are really, really good. A lot of movement in that, right? KBD 600F, like Frank. Here's another one. This is a rose gold sample, but we have a yellow gold one in stock too. It's kind of crazy. Similar, a little similar to that other one with the melon shapes. Oh, here's the first one, KBD 600A. That's definitely, I don't know, can be considered like a melon shape with the cuts in there going from north to south. Very sparkly, very cool. And we have almost all of those styles, those cuts in smaller beads. This is a 5mm version of them, and I think there's 4mm too. Yeah, so we've got 4mm version of those same things. KBD 400C. I guess the 5mm would be KBD 500. And also 3mm versions of those same cuts, those things. So those will be really interesting to look at once they're on the website, because we can get really close up with the camera pictures. And oh, here's one that we don't have bigger versions of them, but I surely do love them. There's it's almost like a faceted round, and that's not going to focus. Let's see if I can get this moved up closer. Right there, you can see that. There you go. Nice. And that's a 3mm version of that bead. Okay, so that I think we've got a couple of other beads, but I don't want to show you everything again. I'm going to end up going long again. I can already tell. I haven't even started on the bales. I'm just going to show you quickly a couple of jewelry tags. Right, this is something that everybody needs, especially if you're making gold jewelry and you want to have a tag on there to identify it as such. These are all going to say AU 750. So, I mean, a lot of times you'll see hallmarks that will say either, 18K or sometimes you'll say, no, I guess the 18K or AU 750. AU, of course, is the periodic table name for gold. And 750 is the percentage, 75% gold, right? Because gold carats and diamond carats or whatever are not the same thing, obviously, right? Diamond carats are the physical weight of the product. And I can never remember off the top. It's like 0.2 grams or something per carat. Don't quote me on that because it's wrong. It's some grams per equals a carat. It's just another way of measuring the weight of the stone, which is why 1 carat diamond can doesn't necessarily mean that it's exactly, say, 6mm wide. It could be 5mm, could be 7mm, depending on the size of the shape of the pavilion, because the weight will still be anyway, neither here nor there. Gold carats are a ratio of 24, right? So 24 karat gold is pure gold. There's no other metals alloyed with it. 18 karat gold means 18 parts gold, 6 parts something else. So yellow gold is normally alloyed with copper and whatever, different kinds of golds, or rose gold and green gold, all kinds of weird golds, white gold. They're all alloyed with other metals in different ratios. If you have 75% gold and 25% other alloys, that's 18 karat gold, or 0.75, just like sterling silver 925, right? 750 means 75%. 14 karat gold is only, I forget, 57% or something like that off the top of my head. So a lot of people don't realize that. It's always weird when people don't realize that 14 karat gold is like barely half gold. It's just a little bit more than half of the thing is gold. And 18 karat gold, which is all the fine jewelry is made with 18 karat gold, is only 75% gold. Pure gold is not a very good metal for jewelry because it's very soft. Anyway, neither here nor there. So these are all stamped. Enough of my technical explanation of what carats are. These are all stamped AU 750, right? Little tags. And this little tag, KCH 001. And I guess I'm not going to stop and give you the code numbers. You can ask for it. Hey, what about that little one? Right, here's another little oval. And we have other wider ones. And you can use these as jewelry components, right? Right, little tabs. Gold, I'm thinking yellow and red gold. I've got that. I've got a little bit smaller version of that. I've got this, right? Classic. I guess the little loop attaches to your. Why does it want that focus? Okay, whatever. The little loop attaches to the stringy material, whatever, or the cord end, and then the big loop is what the clasp can go through. Again, that's also stamped. Big teardrop, right? Same concept. Here's another little oval component. Really, I would use that as a earring component instead of a tag because it's very cool. And a loop at both ends. And then we have, of course, the can't have tags without having a little heart tag. It's so cute that you can engrave your, your company logo on there, or whatever. You can etch whatever you want on there, or grave whatever you want on there. Got little tiny versions. That's the back. Also on the back of the other one. Also, I don't know if you can see that it's stamped. You probably can't read it, but it says AU 750 for 18 karat gold. And we've got this, and I'll be perfectly honest. I've seen this a couple times in the thing, but it's just a disc. I don't know how you would use that, but maybe it's a good starting place. You can hammer that out into a shape or something. I don't know. But it's a finding apparently that people want. What is that? 10 millimeters wide by 1.46 millimeters thick. So that's a pretty thick disc. Okay, let's get some other components here. Here's and this will segue nicely into the bales. Here's a bead with a loop, right, soldered to the bottom of that. So you put your string through there and you dangle whatever you want off that. Gorgeous for a cute little, necklace. Probably wouldn't want to use that for a bracelet, but it's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the bales. I think I showed you a lot of these bales in one of the earliest live streams that we did, but I might have just shown you a couple of them, one or two. Here's a classic pinch bale where the peg goes through the the post in the rear of the thing. You fold that post down, locks it into place, right? It's a KBL010, right? Even 20, it's probably $23 or something like that now. That's super reasonable for 18 karat gold for a finding that you're going to put on. And then we've got a bunch of those. I'm not going to stop at every one, but just very classic, tab with the thing that goes through. And then we have some fancy ones where I'm going to take these out of the box because you got to see these, right? Where the tab is kind of normal size, but the bale, I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. Maybe if I hold it. No. Anyway, it's kind of a filigree pattern in the bale. And we've got a bunch of those, different, different shapes and sizes of those. Some a little more ornate. Right, here's a pretty cute one, the regular little tab with that thing, and then the bale is like, golly, this is, I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like a heart with a. Oh well. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. Get that to hold up in the. Yeah, so it's like a, I don't know, almost like sort of like a heart with a piece in the middle. We have one just like this with a bunch of diamonds in it, which I'll get to eventually. some other very cool ones with nice delicate filigree. I don't know, this kind of Chinese looking symbol in there. I don't know. When I look at that thing, to me that says, oh, that's like Chinese, ancient Chinese. This thing on a beautiful little jade Buddha, carved jade Buddha. Those little flat ones. Have you ever seen those? You must have seen those. I see those at shows all the time. It'd be perfect for that. And then this one is another. Golly, I love that. Let me hold this with this. See if I can do this. That with that. Maybe you can see that better. No, oh, maybe. All right, so it's a tab with that, and then the bail has that. You notice that ancient Greek pattern called meandros. You can Google that. meandros. It's just that pattern that goes back and forth, like a S, shape that goes all the way around, borders and stuff. You didn't know it had a name, did you? I know. I'm thinking, gosh, we learned so many weird things on these live streams. Here's a gorgeous little clouds bail, right? The chain goes through that open end of that thing. Nice, really gorgeous open bails. And where are... Here's another one that I can't get a straight answer when I ask what that symbol means. I think it probably means, I don't know, hell of boiling oil or something. But it's very gorgeous, nice round, bail. It's another kind of cloudy one, cloud shape. Although that these are not pinch bails; these are for gluing, pearls onto thing or whatever. So you got just a simple little V bail with that cup and peg, thing. Obviously, you wouldn't probably, given how small that finding is, you probably wouldn't need the post to be quite so long. Just cut it down to size, whatever you need that to do. What did I do with those? Oh, here's that. Here's one of those bails with diamonds in there. Just a regular standard, tab. And then the bail has a bunch of diamonds in there. And these are diamonds. They're not cubic zirconias. They're actual diamonds. Because if you're doing 18 karat gold, you're not going to put cubic zirconias in there, right? My father had a saying, are you doing it or are you screwing around, right? So if you're doing it right. You're going to put diamonds in the gold and not cubic zirconias. Here's another one, similar or not similar. It's pretty much identical shape to one of the other ones I just showed you before. And getting some light in there. There's also 3 diamonds, set in that one. That's KBL006Y. I sold a couple of those with the diamonds in there. And in case you were concerned that, Mark, those are great, but they're all so small. We have bigger ones too. Sort of thing. This gorgeous, thing. I don't know what that would go on, maybe on a donut or something. I don't know. You could put it on, pretty much anything. But that's pretty tall. That's 23 millimeters high. So that's pretty tall. So bales, we've got you covered. I also wanted to show you these. It's kind of a cool. Oh, let me just back up. Counterweights. We've got lots of these little chains with the dangles on the thing that you just connect to near the clasp of your necklace, right? And you can again etch or engrave your company logo or your name or a little saying or a dedication on the back of these things. The one side will give the hallmark AU 750, and again, here's the right yellow gold on the right and the rose gold on the left. You can see the the difference. That's a pretty good shot, actually. KEX001 is the code for that. And I'm not going to go through them all, but we have a bunch of them. I think that one I just showed you is the biggest one, and this one is the smallest one that we've got. That's KEX004. And that's, I don't know, that's a little bit cuter. Not a heart, but more of like a, maybe an acorn shape or something. I don't know. Teardrop. It's a great way to hallmark your jewelry on the end. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. Are these very cool settings, for stones. And you can use these independently just with the stone inside, and then with the chain going through it and dangling from there. And I promise it looks way different with a stone inside there. Or you can solder this onto whatever. And there are what did I do? Oh, here. There are some other components that you could put underneath on the underside of these things. Let me just show you this. Right, so these kind of discs, depending on the size of your stone, right? These little wavy discs, which when you put them used in conjunction with these and these, I don't know if you could see these, right? This thing fits down and the stone sits right inside there. And then that disc sits on the outside of the stone. And if there however many facets are in your stone, right? Those little discs and that little setting thing will multiply the facets a lot. So if you've got diamonds, obviously, sort of thing, but it doesn't have to be diamonds. If you have like moissanites that are already more sparkly than diamonds, and you set them up with these things, and I'm not going to show you a whole bunch of them because I'm already, almost at my hour thing. But we've got these in a bunch of different sizes, everywhere from, I guess they're measured, of course, after I talked about how you can't measure the diameters of a stone by the carats. But these are measured by half carats all the way up to 2.5 carats measurements, which could be 4 millimeter all the way up to like 8 millimeter stones, maybe something like that ish. And you can carve, the prongs out of these things, so you can definitely adjust them if they're off by, quarter millimeter here or there. I think any more than that might be difficult. But those little seat components with the discs, with the cut discs, when you put your stones together, and I don't have a sample to show you, of course, because I didn't think of it till now. But they really, really magnify the facets in your stone, and they make them so much more sparkly. It's kind of uncanny when you see it in real life. But anyway, move these over here. Backs. Of course, we have just your standard soldering posts, right? And the yellow or the red gold. Those are regular, the standard 20.8 millimeters. Can't go wrong with those. KEW022. Um, and then we have some other real super interesting backs. These are like the posts that you'd solder onto whatever. And then the backs, those discs with the backs, you can see there's like a tab at the top and the bottom of that thing. That's like a push tab. You squeeze those in, and the spring release thing in the center opens up, and then you can pull the earring off or the back off. Super secure. These are probably the most secure backs that I've ever seen. And again, we have these in yellow gold or rose gold. KEW 023 is the code, and of course, you can't not have the standard classic fallback, the old butterfly back, scroll back, you can call it whatever you want. KEW 024, and of course they're priced per pair, right? So whatever price you see there would be per pair. And we have that, kind of a smallish one all the way up to real good sized one. I think that's off the top of my head. Oh yeah, 5.3 millimeter, a little bigger than 5 millimeter disc, in the yellow gold and in the rose gold. The bigger your earring, the bigger the pad you want to have on the back of that, so the earring doesn't lean forward. Then we've got I'm going to show you the bigger one. We've got two sizes of this. Here's the bigger one, and then we've got a smaller one. I don't know if you could see the thread. So it's like a disc, right? The back is a disc. And the threads, the soldering post is like a screw. And you put your earring through there, and you screw that on. Again, super secure, really secure, really great. All the way up to right. This is like for an earring. It is an earring, not like an earring. There's a post for your little pearl or stone, sphere, something. As long as it's got like a half drilled thing. Right. Use a good two-part epoxy to glue whatever you want to that. KEW 030 are these. I suppose you can even. No, that would be silly. I was going to say you could take those the earring backs and make them into a loop, but that would totally defeat the purpose of those. And just in case you were worried that we didn't have a big selection of these, we've got I don't know what off the top of my head, 6 different sizes of these. These are kind of like the supercharged scrollbacks, right? Normally the scrollbacks are all one piece that are just bent around, and then tension, holds those loops together, and so that when you put your post through, they catch onto these. These are just separate pieces, right? So there's 2 separate pieces that are soldered together. And again, same idea. Very easy to make those pads tighter or looser if you need them to be. Again, that's 6.5 millimeters the size of that pad, and we have that going down to the smallest one is 4.5 millimeters for the pad. A bunch of other Sterling soldering posts. I'm not going to show you those, but of course, classic ear wires. Everybody needs those, right? Beautiful 18 karat gold ear wires. This is the bigger version of them. 16.5 millimeters tall by 9.5 millimeters wide. Again, the wire is 20 gauge. KEW 002. Y for yellow, R for rose gold. And here's a smaller version. And when I say smaller, it's not hugely smaller, but smaller. 23 gauge wire, almost it's about a millimeter or so smaller in every dimension. But that's enough to make the price considerably less. KEW001 is the SKU for that. Classic ear wires. And then, I don't know, we've got this other ear wire with length of chain hanging from the bottom. I don't know what that is, maybe 3/4 of an inch of chain. I'm going to get in trouble for not saying millimeters. KEW003 is the code for those. And of course, all these prices, if you see prices for ear wires, those are always by the pair, right? Here's also another ear wire that's very cool. This is, to glue. It has a post, a cup and peg post that you would glue a pearl on there or something. The big loop here, or the big ball there, that unscrews and screws back on. So that would pass through your ear, and then the ball hangs out the back. So it's kind of like a three-dimensional thing. It's you're not just looking at the ball that's hanging out the front, but you're also looking at another gold ball that's hanging out the rear of the earring, which I think is super cool, very fashion forward. Ooh, I hate using that word. I'm gonna get in trouble for using that word. That's not good. And then the rest of these trays here. Oh, let me just show you these. We've got a couple of these. Yeah, and I've also got some head pins to show you. Got a bunch of these cup and peg posts, right? So this is just a very simple bead cap with a loop on the top of it and a post to glue into whatever. And we've got these as small as 2.5 millimeter KPL001 all the way up to I think the biggest cap we've got is 5 millimeter. What is that item number? What is the size? Oh no. For which one? For Carla, sorry, which one? For the this? That the cup and peg post? Is that the one you're asking about?
Price.
The whole size on those, if that's what you're asking for.
No, whole size is the previous question. Yeah, this the second question last. I think she mentioned the bail just now talking about.
Am I talking about those? What am I talking about? No, last thing I was talking about were those ear wires, and then yeah, these. So, Carla, I think you're talking about these, yes, right? Yes. Oh, the ear wires with the screw ball. Oh, okay. Well, there's no hole there. I don't know what you're. Oh, if you're asking about the size of the peg, the size of the peg that the
ear wire with screw ball.
So that the width of that is 0.77, so it's like 20 gauge or so. It's the size of the hole. The ear wire earrings for pearls, yeah, these. Yeah. And then the ball just screws off. The size of that ball is I don't know what that is. It's about 4 millimeters. Is the width of the ball. And the
price I can tell you.
The item number is KEW004, and the price, we're going to get that. KEW004 is the code number of that.
KEW004.
I'll lose that.
Okay, so the regular price, wholesale price. The red one.
Right. So the retail price of that is $148.27 for the pair, and the wholesale price is
97.
$97.17 for that. That's for the pair, right? Yeah, gorgeous. Thanks, Carla. Sorry, I jumped ahead too quickly. I mean, I'm pretty much done. I was just going to show you those caps. We have them, the smallest 2.5 millimeter all the way up to biggest one is 5.5 millimeter, right? Cap. We have some scalloped and some not. And then the rest of, I think just things I didn't miss were bales, just more and more bales. We've got so many bales.
But we will have a website, have them all on the website later.
Yes. And I'm not going to take the time because I'm already way past my hour here. So these will all be on the website, soon. There are a couple of other things I wanted to show you. And sorry that I went over, but I think we also have these little ball pins, right? And you have these in 1.5 inch and 2-inch lengths. KBB0538 is that one. That's the 2.5 millimeter. And chain, golly, this got lots of chains, right? Small, cute little, that's like a weed chain almost. A little super tiny flat cable chain, very sparkly. I don't know, you probably can't see that in the camera because the links are flat, cut. They're very sparkly. Big, curb chains. Oh, big. They're not that big. They're, I don't know. What is it? Doesn't say. So just looking at me off the top of my head, the links are probably, I don't know, 3 millimeters wide by 5 millimeters long, right? That twisted curb chain. Here's a little bigger version of that flat cable chain. Right. Again, we have these in yellow, gold, and rose gold. Here's a gorgeous circle chain. Are the ball pins sold by the pair? No, the ball pins are sold by the each because you're not necessarily always using them by the pair. It's only things that you use only by the pair, like ear wires. I guess you could argue that, well, some people only like one earring, but whatever. Ear wires are kind of obviously by the pair. Backs are by the pair, or those kind of things. But ball pins, head pins, you could use them for earrings, obviously, but you could also use them for dangles off a necklace or a bracelet or whatever. So that's how we make that determination. Just so many more chains. Don't have time to show. We also have wire. 18 karat gold wire.
And also tube.
And also tube?
Yes. I didn't show there because no box.
So we don't have I don't have it on display, but apparently we also have gold tube. I wish I had known that. Because if there's I would have to check it out to see if it's good to make tube rivets or tube settings. Whatever. So sorry I went long again. I have to figure out a way to do this quicker. Just skip over more stuff, not talk so much. Thank you for joining us again on our Wednesday morning live stream. We will see you here again next week. Again, share this video to get your free polishing cloth. If you are ordering from one of the many jewelry groups that we're members of on Facebook, or if you're a member of our jewelry group on Facebook, or if you're a member of a lapidary club, let us know because you do get a discount for that. And if you order today, the free shipping, free regular shipping, that doesn't include tracking or anything, which I would always spend extra to get the tracking information in the shipping. I didn't do my Canada Post rant. It's just bad. That's all I'm going to say. Uh, and American shipping is getting worse. But this stuff eventually gets there. That's all you need to know. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. I'm rushing out the door. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Yes, we're out.